Alright, hello and welcome back to Ashgabat Cat, so let's play that. Today we're taking a look at Chicken Run for the Game Boy Color. Now, for those of you not in the know, the Chicken Run was a late 90s stop-motion movie starring, well, chickens that are on a farm and who are attempting to escape it. Because, well, what do you think happens to chickens on a farm? So let's choose our language and get running. Chicken Run. This is actually not a bad screen. I'm pretty sure if we stopped here, we... Oh, and it's the rat again. Let's see, difficulty... well, okay, we'll keep it on normal, just to see what we have. Is this like a music player, or just... Okay, you just turn music on or off, and sound effects on or off? Okay, we'll leave sound effects on. There are not a ton of options. This is one of those Game Boy Color games that really reminds me of like a Nintendo Entertainment System game. Lead the hens the egg by leaving trails of corn feed. But these types of games are very surreal for the Game Boy Color because while it is like Nintendo Entertainment System style, like the subject matter is from the 90s, not the 80s or even the late 70s. So it's very weird to see stuff from perhaps my childhood even in these sorts of games. Okay, well, we have a limited number of those. I doubt we can pick those up. Does select do anything? Not so much. Okay. We are off to a glorious start. 5 seconds in, and we are already stuck. Oh, okay, so the little hen can jump. Oh my god. That is just... Oh my god, is the most surreal perspective change I've ever seen. Can we go inside of the chicken house, or is it just outside? Okay. Well, it's not that obtuse a game. I mean, you kind of pay attention and you can kind of get a sense for it. Oh, that's weird. That dog is not at all interested in us. Oh, you've been caught. What am I supposed to do differently exactly? I mean, granted, I was walking around like a chicken with its head cut off, but... oh, wow. It even has that arcade game, like, press start to continue thing. That's really weird. So I think what you have to do is you have to avoid lights or something, or... Well, I guess if you're gonna try and hide from the... Okay, so you can jump over the trough, just not certain parts of the trough. Because, well... Sometimes, when you're programming your games, like sometimes doing it right is a little bit hard. So it looks like certain parts are okay, but maybe if we're trying to like sneakily lead an escape, then maybe not hang out directly in front of his dog. Okay, so they'll follow us like chickens. Wow. They are not so smart. Which is thematically appropriate because, again, they are chickens, but, I mean, come on. AI has progressed since then, right? Actually, for some weird reason, this isometric perspective is making me think of Sarge's Heroes for the Game Boy. Now, that was a weird game. This one, though, is comparatively very normal. And actually, the Sarge's Heroes game was very different than the one on the N64. The one on the N64 was like a first-person shooter that was just, frankly, kind of normal. Hey! What are you doing? Get back here! Why are you going the other way? There's more food this way. Oh my gosh! Oh, what? You were my shining star. You were my leading example. You were supposed to lead to a revolution in chicken freedom. Oh my god. Well, I sure hope none of you are kids who actually played this game back in the day, because this game is infuriating. What the heck? The chickens don't even listen to what you say, and you can't even bribe them, because it's like, what are you going to do, lay down more food? What, I mean, do they need line of sight to the next one? Do you have to, like, constantly be monitoring them? Maybe jumping will change things? I mean, there's no logical reason to think that jumping around would change anything, but, I mean, I'm a little desperate here. The Chick-fil-A's calling it. Chick-fil-A's gonna be come calling tomorrow, and it's like, you guys better get out of here. Okay, maybe if I pay attention to him, he'll escape. That's right, these chickens were escaped with tender love and care. Okay, fine. So we need a few more connecting pieces of corn? What if you put corn in the trough? I don't know that you can. Also, can you land on the trough? Okay, so you can jump over troughs, but you can't land on them. Oh, that's interesting. You just jump like a fixed distance over the trough. I'm not sure if that's helpful or hurtful, but that's how it is. Wow. Okay. Well, actually, okay. So I'm not, like, completely out of luck. If this doesn't work, then I can go back to the main menu, change the difficulty to easy, and see what changes. I'm assuming you get more corn, maybe the chickens move faster. Ha, fat chance, I think we both know that won't happen. Game over. What is she doing? Eating like a... She's like staring at a watermelon. It's like, this tiny watermelon symbolizes my eternal despair. Alright, well, let's give it a go. Okay, difficulty... easy. Maybe for a lark, at the end we can change it to hard and see what happens. Okay, so all of a sudden we get more time. I'm assuming it's the exact same level, the exact same stupid chickens. Looks like we get the same amount of corn feed. Why don't they start you off on the trough on like a spot where you can actually kind of move? Well, it feels like we have more corn seed, but I'm not entirely convinced that we do. Alright, let's be a little more generous. I mean, these are growing chickens. They need to be properly swayed. Let's see, and one more. Okay, if you're not smart enough to make it out this time, maybe you're not worth saving. Maybe you should be somebody's fillet. Oh wow, that chicken is scooting. He can smell the chicken. Okay, all right. Actually, one thing I'm mildly impressed with is it does seem to keep track of like where the chickens are off screen. I mean, I kind of got the sense playing a lot of Nintendo Entertainment System games back in the day that like as soon as an enemy left the screen, then like that enemy was gone. But here, I mean, it keeps track of where all the chickens are. Granted, that's not like... So you saw that the chicken, entered, I think is the word, that chicken coop, but, like, he kind of got sucked in, as though the chicken coop were some sort of black hole. That was... alright. Alright, well, sure. Good work, everybody, especially you chickens, who all you had to do was eat your way to the ending. Well done. Oh man, we finished one level and all of a sudden we're a war hero. This is great. All these medals. All right. Now we'll want to guess. This next stage is either exactly the same. Oh. All right. This is the spoon. I've never seen one of those in real life, so I'm glad you're explaining this to me. Okay, you can lead the hens to tunnels, and they'll go through the tunnels. Well, I mean, I may make fun of the hokey professor guy. Oh yeah, there should... Oh, they gave us medals because that's the password. Well, I should have written it down. You know, accepting the fact that I'm recording myself now, so I should in theory know it. Okay, those chickens are on the move. Okay, there's our spoon. Now, there's a sneaking mechanic, so you can get caught. I think the deal is you can't just walk, like, right in front of the dog. Which... Oh. Okay. How does... Okay. So now I have the spoon. How precisely would one go about using said spoon? I'm assuming it's proximity-based, like, as soon as you get near a tunnel, then you can dig. But, okay. This is weird. Oh, maybe this is the designated dig spot? No, that's a spotlight. Oh, that's a spotlight. Probably shouldn't hang around there, little chick. Interesting. Well, at least the music kind of channels that good old rockin' GBA synth, or GBC synth. man, it kind of reminds me of Turok Rage Wars, which the game may or may not have been good, but it had the absolute best music I heard on the Game Boy Color. Oh. You've been caught. Actually, I kind of feel like there's a whole music culture for 8-bit device. Oh, neat. That's a different game over screen. Try to escape again. That game over screen kind of implied that there would be no again. Well, okay, so this game at least kind of is nice in that, like, it's sort of a puzzle, and it's a puzzle that kids can easily understand. I mean, getting chickens to the end, it's like, it's a fairly simple concept for kids. You know, ignoring the whole part that, at its core hints at the fundamental instabilities of a carnivorous culture. But accepting all that, then this is a pretty simple concept for kids, and all they have to do is use logic and/or cunning to make it to the end. I mean, they have to find like a solution to the puzzle, which is frankly not so bad. It's not quite like a platformer where B-Button seems to be doing less than it usually does. Oh, okay, there we go. We found the magic tunnel. But it's not quite like a Mario game where like you can know what to do, but oh, okay. Sure. They just fell right into it. Where's that other chicken though? He's wandering around. Okay. Here's a bribe, 2's a bribe, 3's a bribe, 4's a bribe. Do they just automatically go into the holes? Well, sure. Oh, those aren't lives. Those are actual chickens we have to rescue on the bottom. Okay, that makes sense. I like how the main chicken just kind of does an annoyed foot-tapping waiting animation, because it's like, yeah, it's annoying me too, but it's funny that it's annoying you. Man, look at all these medals. They serve no mechanical purpose, right? 5 minutes, this is gonna be a hard one. Okay, find a box like this, and put it in front of a dog. That way, he can't see you. I mean, my first instinct is to make fun of this, but that's a pretty simple mechanic. That's like a good kind of mechanic. There weren't like a ton of puzzle games for the Game Boy Color. Like, well, there were a lot of puzzle games. What I mean is there weren't like a lot of puzzle games like this. Like you're manipulating a character, you're moving around, and you're kind of doing things with that stuff. The only other game I can think of is Tokitori, which, interestingly, okay, I thought for a second I was stuck on the box. That seems like kind of an oversight. You set the box down, and then you jump on top, but then you have to, like, get unstuck. But, however, whatever, that works. The only other game I can think of is Tokitori. Yeah, which also strangely stars a bird, where you kind of walk around and try to navigate your way through a puzzlescape. Now, I actually played that one on an Android phone, so I don't know exactly what the Tokitori Game Boy Color game is. I hear it had the same puzzles, but okay. But, I mean, of course, it being on the Game Boy Color, the graphics were a little less superb. But actually, I mean, I think they were still pretty good for a Game Boy Color game, and it also helps that it was a late-age Game Boy Color game. Well, that helps its quality. That doesn't necessarily help its selling power. So I am actually kind of curious where this matches up in the greater Game Boy Color canon of games. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a simple-ish... Oh. Can the chickens not make it through the barbed wire? Oh, you can't place them if it's... Okay, so I wasn't actually placing those pellets. Sure. Alright, come on, my little tasty lemmings. Can you make it to the end and avoid being... No, you can't, because apparently this chicken is smart enough to go through the doors, but those chickens are not. Do I have to, like, bribe them more? And also, too, what are my options exactly? I don't have a ton more food. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, that's so disappointing. I wonder if you're supposed to... Oh, no, that chicken figured it out. Okay. 1 out of 2 ain't so bad, right? Oh man, this game, there's a ton of waiting. Because I mean, while the concept is nice and simple for kids, like, the whole idea of waiting and being patient and thinking is probably not necessarily going to resonate with them. Oh, so you can pick up... Oh, okay. So it's like a hard limit, but you just have to, you can move them around. Which is incredibly helpful, because I don't want you here anymore. I want you to get through the... Oh, yeah. I don't understand chickens. I really just don't understand these chickens. Like, you put the pieces down, okay, whatever. And then eventually, it figures it out, and now it's happy. And now it's gonna be safe, but before, it wasn't, and it's... On a semi-related note, if you'd ever like to learn more about chickens, there's actually a very good documentary by PBS called The Secret Life of Chickens. It may or may not be available on YouTube for free. I have no knowledge of such things, but perhaps YouTube's search bar does. Oh, this is a switch. You can press it to activate something. Oh, turn off the lights. Okay. You'll have to stand on a box. Ooh. So that's kind of an interesting thing, like when you're oh, there are 3 chickens now. Okay, I got it. That's kind of an interesting thing about designing puzzle games. It's that, like, you introduce a whole bunch of elements, but the elements are kind of, well, in their element, when you have to kind of mix and match everything all at once. And so what you want to do is you want to have features and gameplay mechanics that kind of play off of each other. You can't just, like, continually introduce one-offs. Well, I mean, you can, but you don't get anywhere near enough usage out of all of them. Okay? What the heck? Okay, so I think he only shakes his head when someone is in the spotlight, but he doesn't necessarily care if it's you. But if you happen to be in the spotlight, then he very much cares that it's you. Which makes it... Now, is the game slowing down, or is that just me? I'm willing to, consider that just the game, but... Okay, that was kind of weird. Alright. Wait, I thought we turned off that light. Oh, that's mud. Okay, no wonder I was so slow. Gotcha. Okay, don't put things in mud. Fair enough. Oh, I see, there's mud, so you can't just, like, escape the light as a matter of course. Alright, I wonder if you can walk through the light as a box. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid rules, so you can just walk as a box no matter how you want. Okay, looks like that light is done. And that looks like a patch of grass that's ripe for the spooning, so we'll pick up the spoon and go ahead and use it. This puzzle is all coming together. Okay, despite initial misgivings, this game is actually more fun than it initially appears. It's actually kind of fun, I'd say. And then the food thing, I mean, that doesn't really matter, and then you just kind of work your way through it. Now, one thing I don't like is having to deal with those other chickens. Those other chickens are kind of stupid. They do not, like, deal well with things. If somehow you changed the game where maybe just the main chicken had to escape. Speaking of chickens, where's the other chicken? Where are you, pal? I know you want to escape too. But if somehow they had changed the game so, like, you just had to escape as the main character, then, it might be a whole lot more palatable. Because, yeah, AI compatriots are never quite so great. Be careful on this one. You can be seen by the magic eyes. Unless you put a mirror in front of them. Well, already we're starting to repeat mechanics. Oh no! Open up vents in the floor. Oh my gosh, this is getting pretty complicated pretty quickly. And I'm pretty sure we're still going to have to tunnel around. We're still going to have to use boxes. Jeez, this game is... Oh, wow. Alright. So we are in a new location, new music, new everything. Actually, if you look in the lower right-hand corner, there's even a new farmer. Well, I think I'll give these new mechanics a try. But this game is getting a little bit daunting, actually. Okay. So B button is kind of your manipulate the world thing. Okay. Sure. Mirror eyes. If you think about it though, that actually doesn't make sense, because then the mirror eye would see itself, which, that kind of be weird, right? Okay, speaking of rescuing chickens, I think there's supposed to be some chickens we have to rescue. Where do they come from? Did they come from the bend? Okay, sure. Okay. This does not seem like where we need to put the mirror. Okay. Looks like... Oh no. Huh. Well, I do love these delightful little game over screens that seem to be happening every level, and it looks like the continues are not limited at all. So I mean, so long as there's no live system, then like doing the puzzle game like this is actually not such a bad investment. So, all in all, pretty good game. Pretty good game. You never know what you're gonna find when you boot up a random Game Boy Color game, but oops, you can't bribe the magic eyes with food. Alright, now is there any sort of other mechanics, or are we just running them through a gauntlet here? Okay, so I can make it over. Can they make it over? Oh, the wrench. Sure. What? Oh, yeah, the wrench opens vents or something. Some other such nonsense. Oh, okay. Well, that explains how they get over there. But what are they gonna do next? Because, I mean, this is really only a means to an end, right? What exactly is our end game? Maybe we have to get them to this vent? Oh, okay. I see. So this is how we escape that little place with the wrench. But if you want to actually escape, maybe you have to go here. I think. Yeah, okay, there we go. Oh, and what do you know? Just what we needed, another mirror. To handle the other magic eyes. I think we're handling the first magic eyes just fine. But, who knows? Oh no! Those magic eyes... Okay. That's disappointing. So... Whoops. Okay. And then... Oh. You didn't see nothing, pal. Alright. Mirror in here, and I think we're golden. Jeez. Well, alright, I'll admit, I'm... grown fond of this game. It kind of absorbs you, brings you in. Let's place the chicken feed and move the chickens. And I guess if I was really tricky, then I could go back and pick up the stuff I've been leaving behind. Okay. And then they seem to like to go into vents automatically, and so we just lead them one over to here, and there should be home free. Unless the magic eye decides to change the gameplay rules and get me in trouble. It's kind of funny though, it's like this kind of rockin' 50s beat, and then you've got like all three chickens just kind of pecking at the ground, walking along. It's a very surreal experience, but I dare say it works. Alright, let's watch the fun part happen. Guys, no! What is happening here? Okay, get back in the vent. Get back in the vent. There's nothing here for you. Go back in the vent. Jeez Louise, these chickens. You can't leave him alone for a second. Oh, now he's just getting himself in trouble. Oh, I see. He went to pick up the piece of food. What a greedy little guy. Oh my gosh, I feel like this is not at all the way you should be doing this, but... Desperate times call for desperate chickens. Actually, I am a desperate chicken. Come on, guys. I want to see you make it to the next day. Okay, now I'm not going to get the ones by the magic eyes, because that seems dangerous. But, what are you doing? What are you saying? Okay. Okay, so you just have to make sure they're not distracted. I don't like how the chickens seem to have varying levels of intelligence, though. Because this chicken, like, he just didn't quite get it. He can see the sign, but he's like, nah, maybe imprisonment is fine. Alright, let's see what the new gimmick is, and then probably not do it, because honestly, this game is getting a little annoying. I feel like this game is not meant to be played all in a row. But, I mean, that's why we've got the passwords. And also, you too at home, if you want to play along, then feel free. Here are some free passwords. I think we're stuck on easy mode, but I mean, come on, the time limits are just a number, really. Oh my god, okay. So you lead the chickens to more obstacles so they can go over the obstacles. That's fantastic. Now, is there a reset? Game paused? Nope. There is not a built-in reset. Well, that's just fine. We can lead off here. So that was Chicken Run. I mean, a very underrated hidden gem of a puzzle game. Now, granted, I'm not saying it's an amazing game, but, like, you wouldn't expect a licensed game to be probably the second, third best action puzzler for the Game Boy Color? Oh, that's right, because there's Wendy every which... No, not Wendy every which way. There's some, Sudoku... It's the, block moving game, Sokoban. I think there's a version of Sokoban for the Game Boy Color, but it's made by Japanese, it's in Japanese, and so, yeah, it's a Japanese game. It's sort of based on Sokoban, but it's actually pretty good. It follows the same sort of vague template, but I think that one's actually better than this game. So, okay, fine. Fourth best action puzzler in the Game Boy Color? I mean, out of 4, but still. I mean, that's not a very crowded genre, so any title is a welcome reprieve. Well, on that note, these chickens, if they can't save themselves, they don't deserve to be saved. So on that note, this chicken's gonna scat.